Hey, hey, Laura J. in front of the window. I am cleaning today. I am going to be doing a presentation on Tuesday on the Freedom Lovers Canada call. And it's going to be about identity because ultimately that is the piece that we all need to understand because there are entrapments within it. It's a trap and meant of the mind. And then you'll find that this is how we become indentured servants or slaves to the matrix that matrix you if you don't know what to look for. So I'm going to do my best to let you know what I know without entrapping you further. And what you'll notice is this window has been done once, as has that, and those two have not yet. So I'm going to tell you a piece of what I know as my head moves out of the window, because that is what happens when we allow capitis diminutio media maxima or minima to encapsulate us by lopping the head off the eye and then drawing the cross too high for there to be a head left on the man who instead is boxed in top and bottom with the eye. As you'll notice if you think about what a capital I looks like. And also for the T that no longer has his head above the line, and instead you'll find it capped top and bottom. So what we're going to do as I move into the screen where my head is about me is talk about the fact that there are counterfeit versions of all things within High-Rose Prism or PRism. What do I mean by that? Well, it's a theory I coined as the figurehead telling the tale I told you. So, Windex is the brew used for these windows, and I don't like breathing it in. So it's not the best, but this is definitely not a promotion for the substance used to do the job. Because a job, if you actually think about it from a robbery perspective, the job is actually what you do in order to get the loot. And we didn't realize, when I mentioned about the capitis diminutio, media maxima and minima, we didn't realize that you case the joint before you rob it. And the laws of salvage mean that the pirates are able to rape, pillage, and plunder and keep some of the loot so long as they pay the king. The one asking whether they got the job done and commanding it, co-manning the job, yeah. So the spells are there because it's all spelled up for us, spelled out for us. And if we don't know what to look for, then we'll overlook it. And I don't mean to have my back to you while I do the job, but the job is the thing that's more important to me right now than creating a video where I look like a friend, because what you'll know is that I'm doing the best I can to give you information that can actually help you if you wish to help yourself. Because information and knowledge doesn't change anything if we don't do anything with it. You know what I'm saying? Of course you do. Of course, being the course that your ship, your vessel, the being that is you, transporting the soul, the God spark within you through this life. If you don't do something with your hand to command the man, quote unquote, who is an illusion and fiction that will allow you to be the job that is getting looted by legal pirates that back in the olden days were called privateers. Did you know? Well, that's an interesting showing power that does actually tie perfectly in with identity, because, okay, oh, knocked on me head with that Windex. didn't hurt so bad actually, but I could have looked better if I had have prepared my space better. So maybe I'll take a minute to do that so that I can get right over. Do the job well. Because in the scheme of things, our energy is the wellspring that our life is connected to. Did you know? Did you think about it? If not, let us. Okay. Now that we're untied from the rug, this is a 4-year-old geranium my cousin got for the porch after my grandma had passed, I believe, or maybe it was in the year when she was still here. But I've looked after it ever since, and it has grown, and I continue to do so. Goes out on the porch in the summer, and then comes back by this window in the fall. Now, I want to point out the word follow, and I want to say, I don't want you to fall low, and I don't want your fall to be owed to anyone, because I don't want you to fall. I want you to understand all of these entrapments. Before you're standing on a trap door, you expect to support you, because it can't, it won't. And your life is far too precious for someone to act nice to your face and cheers you with poison in the cup because of the diglossa text or the joker that gets to tell the tale. In the text, which was how sinister, evil, or covert details get embedded into the tale that you don't see until it's too late. By then, you're already vexed or hexed by the curse of cursive handwriting the hands of the crown are able to put in once we're topped off, capped off, top and bottom. I'm using my environment because I always do that. And I get me head about me as I get myself into a better position, lest an imposition be put on to me person. Her being a measurement of a title, I don't qualify, in fact. I am a daughter by title, not a son. Did you ever connect the dots on that one? Oh, we're having so much fun. Well, maybe. Or maybe not. But I'm not interested in the knots of maritime law, because that is how we get entrapped. And I don't think it's in our best interest. So I try to dispel the spells before it's too late for me and me fellow men and women who are brethren by definition within a kingdom that requires us to take on titles. When I say, why not you be you and I be me, and together we be we? That's easier than taking on a title that we know we don't actually technically qualify for, except for in the mind. Then you'll find the entrapments of what we believe and have to then leave be the present now moment to pursue. And then we get into that litigious society where we sue everybody, except for maybe Sue, because she didn't do anything to you, unless she did, in which case then you'd sue her too. Oh, I play with words. Haven't you heard that I'm Laura J? Here to say I wish you only the best, and don't want less for you, so don't want you to follow. me if I haven't gone the way to show the way, because I can say, hey, this worked for me and this did not. And so I say, if I play by my own rules, then I'd like for those who I follow and listen to the advice of. I want to know about the vices that were tried against them before they found a way that actually worked for them, and maybe could then also work for me. Oh, that hurt me. Oh, yeah. Wow, I hit it on the edge of the ladder. Oh. Okay. Keep it going. Just showing what I believe to be useful to the one who listens to me sing my song, and who watches videos and will see cleaner windows behind me. If the camera goes there, then you can see I'm doing the work, because feng shui says the house reflects the inside of the one who is inside of it, and the energetic body is extended to the house that contains the temple that our souls worship in. Mine's in this one. This one vessel is how my soul gets through this life as me. Your soul gets through yours in your body. Oh, I'd love for you to leave a comment in the comments down below this video. And if you want to share it with a friend who might think that this is not so crazy, and listen to it. I often listen to videos at double speed because I take in a lot of information in order to be the one who makes lots of videos is what I mean. But if it thinks you received value from me as I clean my house, I would say I appreciate donations. That's a cheeky way to say yes, it's true that I haven't asked, because to whomever much is given, much is also required. And did you know the require is an order for those public servants working in the Respublica under a different name, because Respublica is where the Republic came from in the name itself. And what is named can be claimed, you see, which is why all of the census titles and personages are so important to the crown corps that the public servants serve and acts as ants in a colony for. Yes, it's true. If you think of it like that, then you'll see how the colonization of us came in the Asian states. Look up Asian as a suffix. And then you'll see the colon and I's that we've not had dotted. Because if the I is dotted, then it's a lowercase. Not cased in witches, going back to the robbery scenario, you case the joint. And now Trudeau, the true deer, has legalized the smoking of joints to normalize the norm and the lies that taking something foreign into your original substance not gonna convolute the original. Well, did you know the alchemy is all chemistry? And if all you see is me, then all you get is me. But if I take something not of me into me, well, then there is less of me present here, because now I've got foreign stuff in me. Do you see? C, I will also mention, is the letter for creation. And I do believe it is time for us to take back our power as the creators of lives we love living. So, what does that mean and what does that entail? Well, let me sit down, turn you around, and say, we are needing to move out of the land of black and white, put some sparkle and silver, of gold and silver, into it to spice that side up, and also let the colors actually come out of what the triangle of perspectivism actually presents for us to see. And then we start to see that Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcolor, Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, was actually a reflection of which coat or suit are you wearing. The coat being the coat of arms, the suit being the four elements that the minor arcana are divided into. The clock turned to 1. Isn't that fun? Strange and wonky, lots to say. I'm sure there is a better way to concise it, to summarize it. And I'm doing my best, but I needed to get the windows done. And I've got another side of the house to do too. And I might even just give an extra round to what I just did, because then it's done well. I would reference my steaks, which I don't want to be entirely done well, in fact. But then the steak that we think we're eating of a cow also reflects the stake of the stake we put in the ground to mark the land that we claim. And that was how it was done in the old days with the flag, which reflected the logos of the logic of the one who claimed the space. And now we don't use flags the way that we used to, because now it's corporations that stake out nations. And that's where we go back to the Asian of a suffix that actually bring form to an idea. I'm going to break it down more on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. if you're able to come for the Freedom Lovers Canada call. I was keeping my container closed for the containment field of pregnancy for a creative baby is very, very, very important. And I learned that when I was working on my first book, Fully Committed, The Sacred Sojourn of Now, which is about the hero's journey from a soulful perspective. And now, the story that I'm sharing in The Real Story of Rome, which is book 2, which still requires that sacred container to bring it into form as I am doing. Yet, when Rena reached out to me this Tuesday and asked if I was ready to do the 3-part series that I had mentioned I wanted to do before, when I was still leaking my energy by putting out, which putting out is actually a sexual reference. Oftentimes we would use for slang for someone putting out their body to someone that is going to receive them sexually. But I am actually referring to the content I'm putting out. And I'm also breaking down words to dispel the spells within them and to make correlations maybe you didn't remember, recognize, see, or notice before it was pointed out to you, and then it was laid plain because it was explained in a different way than you'd seen it named before. So that's what I do. Laura J. Hamilton is the last name of the tribe I was born to and through, which is on our crest too, quite literally. Through, we have, if you look up Hamilton as the crest, you'll see there is an oak tree with a saw, a double-sided saw that is going through it. And then through is on the crest too. For that is what we do and why I was born with the name that I'd have. And then I've rebranded myself so that Laura Jean Ellen Hamilton, which is my full name, it's all inclusive and truly Canadian too, eh? For that is the identity that those who were born to the same area that I was take on as an identity that I do believe is an entrapment. For what does it mean to be in Canada versus the United States? And why can't we just all be united outside of the man-made borders that create nations that stem from the suffix Asian? I created a course on Udemy as well if you wanted to dwell in where I was able to get to by July when I got it published in June and revised it again in July. And now I'm taking it and putting it into even more practical terms that will serve all of us who have been deemed ants or peons, which are pawns, in another man's war, so that the real territory that is being fought for is our body, mind, heart, and soul. And that is why we will receive a dole in order to fight in a war for another man's alleged territory. The man, in fact. Well, who the fuck is he? Well, he's fornicating under carnal knowledge, you see. So, a little cheeky. But hey, why not have some fun while we fuck with all of the existing carnal knowledge and see that maybe my throwing out a little curse word is actually to break the spell that it held over you when you thought it meant one thing, and now I'm saying it's fornicating under carnal knowledge. And sometimes the other too. But you can decide for yourself. You can also take offense if you wish to, but getting off the fence is probably a good idea. That's how you win a game, after all, in offense, moving forward instead of defense. But defense that you stay on is going to decide which side wins. And then did you know that CIDE as a suffix actually refers to the destruction of something? So sick. Menticide, systematic dumbing down of the populace. Democide, where the government actually kills its own people, which are its property, so that's okay under the usufructare system, usufructory system. It's a reference for usus and fructus, which are two ways that you can use someone else's property and then profit off of the use of someone else's property, usus and fructus. But did you know abusus is the third element that is added to a usufruct when it becomes imperfect? Yeah, that's the imperfect usufruct, which I say is the usufruct, for then it's taking the fruits of the one who was wearing the boots of the man they were fighting for, and then had the sign of soldiers applied to them. Did you get the pun or the play on words where I said soldiers as not the title, but instead the admission that yours was sold? Soldiers. It's a joke on us when we agree to fight another man's war because we thought it was honorable, noble. But there's no bull. But what I'm saying, no bullas either, which are the official seals put onto official religious documents. Did you know? Part of the Holy See's umbrella that hides heresy. And then in court, you can't use hearsay, which is spelt very similarly to heresy, and hearsay. Oh, I know. There's so much here, but there's so much more to come. So join on Tuesday if you can. And I will also be going to Gussapalooza as a volunteer, and my book, my first book, will be there, as well as the ability to gain access to my new book, The Real Story of Rome, that is being wrote now. And I could really use some support because the home that has supported me all this time, that you can see that I am honorably cleaning the windows of, this is part of an estate that's not mine. And so you'll find that I'm being displaced, even though I'm smiling and managing the situation with grace as best as what I can. But support matters. And I've been putting out a lot for a long time, and also in need of receiving also. Because to whomever much is given, much is required. But I also realized that I have been sitting in the martyr archetype for a long while. And the reason you haven't seen me post as much lately is because I can't support anyone if I'm displaced, disheveled, and required to up level by down leveling because I didn't look after the basics, which was me first in my life. Generally speaking, if we don't look after us, well, how can we look after anyone else? You cannot give what you don't have. So that's the honest situation of where I'm at, which is why I mentioned donations earlier. And I do say it is due nations. And it is also an Asian state that has a new dawn before it. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Break the days and let's play together. And if you want to weather the storm better, well then, come out to the Hub for Humankind, September 21st and 22nd. That's where the equinox is happening at Soul's Path Retreats, and I'll be singing a new song for the soulful celebrations, maybe. And I'm also doing a workshop where you can hear what I might not share publicly yet, because a sacred container that contains the sacred wisdom I'm laying plain as the wizard's domain, with mistakes and all mistakes included, which refers to the exclusion of everything not mentioned. Well, let's do it. So there's some fun, but seriously, if over the next 2 weekends you want to come out, have some fun with me and others who are stronger when we are connected and able to unite beyond the BS that would keep us fighting over knowledge, and can actually get back in the present moment where we can feel the resonance of truth in our heart and actually start to connect from that place, well, come out to Gussapalooza next weekend in Cooksville. We're in Cookstown. And the following weekend, September 21st and 22nd, come to Soul's Path Retreats for the Hub for Humankind. And if you buy your ticket before Tuesday, September 10th, for the Hub for Humankind, well, then you can actually find yourself a friend and you get a buy one, get one half off deal right now. So would love to have you there and share in all that is waiting for you. My workshop is just one of many others of profound, insightful, soulful information. There's incredible musicians that are going to be performing as well. And we even also have healing practitioners, of which I have 5 slots for the first come, first serve sign up opportunity, where I'm going to be sharing my tea, whether it's talk, touch, tap, tarot, tuning, toning. What's your tea? Where are ye? And let's go from there. So that's me story. And if it's a mystery, well, then come and let's do Scooby-Doo's job and whatever it is that Scooby-Doo does and tracks down. I think it's the ghosts, which require hosts for the gnosis, that require us leave our own path in order to pursue what is asked by the gnosis that we then buy into. Well, let's track all that down and get back to an open crown chakra where we don't need the crown to cap us, but instead we can stand for ourselves and make sure that it's on solid ground. So, peace. I hope this serves you, and I really look forward to your comments. I appreciate your contributions, and if the greatest contribution that you can give at this time is to join me at Soul's Path for the Hub for Humankind, September 21st, 22nd, that's fine. If you want to come for the Gossipalooza experience, I'm just volunteering, but it would be awesome to have you hearing the amazing lineup of musicians they've got going on as well, September 13th, 14th, 15th in Cookstown, as mentioned. And if you don't have extra money to be able to contribute my way, that's okay. You can also come to the Freedom Lovers Canada call on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and you can hear some of the theories I have about how identity creates entrapments that could trap you if you don't actually get off the trap door that they would limit you to. So I hope this serves you. I would love to hear your comments down below, and for you to also share this with someone else who would benefit from an introduction to me, yo. Thanks. Oh, the cheekiness is crazy, but hey, if we won't be our own #1 fan and cheerleader, then how is anyone else going to be inspired to actually rally behind us, with us, for us, and also see the example of one willing to do it for themselves and therefore holding the energetic field that means you don't have to become any less in order to stand in your glory and enoughness, because I am not intimidated by your greatness, and I don't want you to be intimidated by mine either. So if this resonates, give it a like. That's very much appreciated, and I hope to see you at one of the 3 opportunities coming in the next 2 weeks that I mentioned. Peace out, peace in, peace be with you. Laura J. Namaste. Namago for right now.
Path of love, the path of truth, the path of authenticity. Some call it Soul's Path. July 27th, Soulful Celebration. Mayan New Year. A place to dance, a place to play, a place of gratitude, a place of humor within a heart for humankind, fostering